Well, good morning. How are you today? Welcome to American Reversion. Boy, did you watch that convention last night? I have watched. Now, I haven't paid close attention. I haven't really cared. They haven't been that mesmerizing to me all of my life. But I've kept track of conventions, and I have never seen anything like the one we saw this year, the Republican National Convention. And last night, if every other night leading up to it was great, this was the topper that was worthy of all the rest. I have never seen anything like it. I want to read to you a few of the headlines that are coming out on Drudge of all places, the anti-Trump channel site, and then some are coming off of Breitbart. I hope you watched it. If you didn't watch it, you missed a lot. The people who were there. And I want to back this up, and I think I'm going to call this one American Resurrection or the Resurrection of America or something like that. You know, we talk about America needing a reversion. I started this channel some time ago when I wanted to talk a little bit about politics and the need for a reversion, a returning to the way that things are supposed to be and used to be in our country. Not in all ways. And don't anybody come on and say, well, we weren't perfect in this or that. Yes, we fully understand that. If you're one of those arguers and contrarians that just wants to go after the little bitty thing, you might want to just relax and learn instead of spouting off. And we have so many of those. Okay, I'm going to get more to that in a minute. But, you know, I talked about a reversion. I never thought about a resurrection. Now, when I talk about a resurrection, I don't mean that in any way sacrilegious, because whenever we think about resurrection, we think about the resurrection, you know, and that is the resurrection of Jesus Christ. But resurrection simply means a coming back to life, okay? And this country has been in its death throes, and I don't think any of you would argue with that out there. And we really, it was difficult for us to see a way back. I'll be honest that I had said that I felt that America, or the United States of America, was almost assuredly over, and that we were going to have to fight to slow down the decline, and then try to plan on coming back at some time, probably through a long, drawn out, who knows what, you know, what you know, there's been talk of revolution and civil war and all sorts of things like this, and I didn't see a way back except through great difficulty. And although I said that only an act of God and a returning to God, you know, when my people who are called by my name turn back, you know, turn away from their sins and turn back to me, only through an act of God could this be changed. Well, you know, I think that we are seeing God's hand back on the United States of America, and that gladdens us, and it should terrify other people. You know, those who act against the will of God, and I know we all do. We're all sinners. I mean, you know, I won't make it till lunch without doing something that I'm sure disappoints the good Lord. I try not to. You try not to, but we do it because we're human, and we have a sinful nature, and that's why it's so important. You know, that's why grace and forgiveness is important. But you know, it should terrify those who actively work against the will of God. And it gives us great hope. And as I watch this, and we've seen, you know, ever since the attempted assassination on President Trump, that's where I saw the hand of God really, in my opinion, unmistakable. Now we were seeing the collapse of the Democrat Party. That is good. You know, the collapse of God's enemies, and I don't make any bones about saying things like that. The things they stand for are totally against the will of God. Simple as that. But when we but that moment, you know, God gives moments, and that moment of the attempted assassination, there were just too many things in there to ignore. And anybody I think that is even now able to to ignore that the hand of God is back on America through certain people. I think they're either trying not to recognize it or they're missing it altogether, and I hope that they will come back. Now, so yeah, and so in that case, I think now about the possibility, as I said, only God could turn this country around. Well, maybe God is. God raises up leaders. He raises up good leaders. He raises up evil leaders, and He has raised up some evil ones in the past, probably to show us our sins, to punish a people who have turned away from Him. I didn't mean this to get into a religious discussion, but that's the way it is. You cannot separate God from the leaders that He brings up. You can't separate Him from nations. Okay, all are put here as Him. Well, we have seen something here in Trump, and no, I'm not saying that he's a savior of any kind. Because there will always be those people who come on here and comment and make ridiculous comments. Well, nobody is a savior, but we understand no one is a savior except Jesus Christ. Okay, but good leaders are brought up, and sometimes even bad leaders are brought up, and sometimes very flawed individuals are brought up to be great leaders. For those of you who want to always point out Trump's flaws, are you familiar with Moses? Are you familiar with Jonah? Are you familiar with so many? Are you familiar with with Peter denying Jesus Christ 3 times? Are you familiar with the flaws and foibles of some of the men God has raised up to serve His purposes? So let's don't have any of those semi-theological discussions trying to nitpick at things, straining at a gnat but swallowing a camel. Okay, gosh, I want to read a few of the headlines here, and let me finish what I was thinking about here. Last night was the most amazing. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't stay up. I was getting tired. I couldn't stay up for all of Trump's speech. I lasted through most of it. I had an idea of what he was going to say. I tried to get it through most of it, but I've been up since 5 o'clock in the morning, and I had to get up early today, and so I just wasn't going to wait. But he was a totally different Trump. He was conciliatory. He wasn't combative. He told the truth. He said what he was going to do. He welcomed everyone. He said he wanted to be the president for 100%, or he would be a president for 100% of the country, not 50%. And everyone who have you ever seen a Republican convention like this? I mean, golly. Everything from Amber Rose, who I wasn't aware of until a couple of months ago, and people giving their testimony about why they have come over to the Republican Party. Now, I'm not a Republican. I want to say that right now. I'm an independent, but I can't remember the last time I supported a Democrat. The last Democrat that I agreed with was Zell Miller. But last night, did you see that preacher from Philadelphia? A black guy. Boy, I turned that on. I said, man, and I don't know his name. I'm going to find it and I'm going to put it up on the Patreon channel. Hey, if you are not with us on the Patreon channel, there is a Patreon channel associated with this channel, and I'll put the link down below. I'm able to put other stuff on the Patreon channel that I'm not able to put on YouTube. So if you're not with us on the Patreon channel, especially as we come into this political season, I ask you if you'd like to support this channel. It's a great way to do it. But there's a lot more stuff over there. So if you're interested in that, come on over. Cost $1 a month, or I forget. You can do more than that if you like. I appreciate it. We had somebody come on the other day, and well, this is going to sound like I'm trying to get you to do it. I don't mean it. Like, he gave a lot. I couldn't believe it. Thank you very much for that, by the way. It's a way that you can support what we're doing here, what we're saying, kind of spread the message. And the rest of you can help by simply sharing this video with people. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to find that that speech that young pastor from Philadelphia gave. It was amazing, and I'm going to put it up on the Patreon channel. You can find. I'm sure you'll be able to find. I hope you can find it on YouTube. You can do that without joining us on Patreon, but I hope you will. and then Hulk Hogan and Kid Rock and Dana White being the one who introduced Trump. Um, wow, there's never been a Republican convention like that. And what a family. When you look at the Trump family, my goodness, have you ever seen a family that pretty much everyone, and here somebody will come on and say, but he was divorced 3 times, and Don Jr. was divorced, and they're not perfect. Well, nobody's saying that they're perfect, Yahoo. What we're saying is what an accomplished family. And when you compare the Trump family with, say, the Biden family, if you're cracking on the Trumps, are you supporting the Bidens? And Kai, my gracious, Trump's granddaughter, have you ever seen a 17-year-old so prepossessed and poised in her delivery? What, she is a power coming. She is a powerhouse coming. And I think we are seeing a potential dynasty, and I know people don't like that. We've had dynasties. We've had the Trump dynasty. We had the Roosevelt dynasty. We had the Clinton dynasty. We've had the Obama. We've had that. This is the way it works. There's only certain people who are willing to step up, do what it takes, take the slings and arrows, and actually have the ability to do something. Really, and have the charisma and the leadership. There aren't many people out there like that. And so just to crack on one person, it makes no sense. So now, yeah, dynasties can get out of hand, but when you look at the Trump family, beginning with Trump himself, and then you look at his children, my goodness, you talk about accomplished and smart and well-spoken and bedrock conservatives. Ooh, you can't. I haven't seen anything better than that. Can you compare the Bidens to that? Can you compare the Clintons to that? Can you compare the Kennedys to that? No, they're all a bunch of messes. Not apparently the Trumps. There's a reason for that, and it's a good reason. I wouldn't be surprised that we see Don Jr. sometime in the future running. I said I've said it to Kelly. I said, I can see. And I'm going to talk a little bit more on this, probably on another one I'm going to do after this, about guns and politics. Guns and politics. That's an important thing. Apparently one of the things that led Trump to choose J.D. Vance was that he was good friends with Don Jr. They hunt together. And of course, Vance seems to have come around very nicely and understood that he was wrong years ago when he attacked Trump, and now he understands. He's seen the way Trump does things, and he agrees with it. Good for him. Hopefully, he won't turn out to be a Pence. But I can see Don Jr. I posed this. Here's what I posed to Kelly. I said, after this, how can we see a Vance Trump ticket with Don Jr. as the VP? And they do 8 years, and then can you see a Don Jr. Trump? Oh, wouldn't this be funny? Wouldn't this be funny? There's something else. Anyway, what I was going to say, I can see Kai Trump ending up. What an amazing. I've never seen a young lady that I thought was better than my own daughter. And I don't think she's better, no. But who impressed me as much as my own daughter, and Kai Trump. Boy, what a young lady, huh? The only thing, before I get to reading these headlines and talking about it a little bit, the only thing that I thought was a little bit odd, and just kind of is, after we've got all these hard thumping, then we hear this music, this classical music coming out, and Melania Trump comes walking down, and she walks up and takes her seat, and I mean, she's very poised. Compare the Republican women to the Democrat women. You talk about a bunch of angry frumps on the Democrat side. Have you ever seen a poised, nice looking, nice acting, intelligent, mannerly Democrat woman? Have you ever? Not. Well, you can make the argument that Rosalynn Carter was, and certainly Jackie Kennedy was. But that's been a while, hasn't it? And but man, I mean, they are angry. But you look at Republican women; they are beautiful. They are happy looking. They are poised. They are graceful. And Melania Trump uh, epitomizes all of that. The only odd thing that I thought was the music that she walked into, and I told Kelly, we were both sitting in the family room, and I says, it's like the entering of a Disney princess or something, isn't it? It was just a little odd, you know. But I think it's signifying that she's not going to be front and center of what's coming up um, anymore. She's not going to be out there in the political realm. She didn't want to be the first time, and they kind of kept her back, and that's good. Uh, but she's not going to be out there in the front. She'll serve her purpose as or her role as a good first lady, but she's not going to be out there, hard thumping it like these other women. And I think that's great. We're not supposed to have a president and a half. We have a president and a vice president, and the spouse of the president is supposed to be the first person, right? The first lady. So anyway, I just thought that was odd, but she was there and didn't make a speech, and that was just fine. Now let me read a couple. Oh, there's more coming, but I was just reading through Drudge. I haven't read any of these things, but I'll read you in case you haven't heard. Tech outage hits banks, airlines, firms worldwide developing. I'll read that in a little bit and then probably talk about that on the preparedness channel. Microsoft crash wreaks havoc. Okay, we're getting to the politics in just a second, but listen to these things. Most serious IT failure ever seen. Really, I can't wait to read this. Plunged into dark ages. Yeah. Everybody makes those claims. I mean, it's like the people that say if an EMP hits or something like that, we're going back to the dark ages. That's hyperbole. I know you all are smart enough to know what I mean, what hyperbole means, right? It's hyperbolic. Life without the internet, even if it's down, it's going to screw things up, right? Okay. Healthcare providers report problems with patient services. Well, as if that was new. They don't need a power outage for that. Huge hospital group forced to cancel surgeries. Yeah. CrowdStrike says it's not a cyber attack. Well, but it could take weeks to repair. Okay, let's get down to now that's just to let you all know that I'm keeping track of what's going on in the world. Okay, here's the big headlines that I was really surprised to see on Drudge. Drudge, though, also, since the old days, Drudge, it became an anti-Trump site, and then it became kind of they're wishy-washy. They're going to stay ahead of the curve. They see what's happening now. They say, Mellow Don Marathon, 93 minutes. No kidding. Longest convention speech in history. He spoke for 93 minutes, knew exactly what he was talking about, was inspiring, was direct, was totally in charge. And our president, our resident, can't make it through a 5 minute. You can't make it through a 2 minute statement without saying, well, anyway. Okay, so this is, it was amazing. After being shot, several days after being shot, he stands there for 93 minutes. And then it says this, God's chosen party. Boy, for Drudge to say that is something. Now let's go down here on the subhead. Obama lowers the boom. Biden's family starts discussing his exit plan from race. Campaign calls all hands meeting. Kamala rallies North Carolina. Trump family reshapes Republican Party in their own image. I think that's exactly right, and I think that's good. We have a lot of messes I'm not a Republican. I'm going to keep saying that. The Republicans have a lot of messes on their own side. This is not a Republican movement. This is a populist movement that simply Trump is using, because you have to run as one party or the other, right? And absent on the convention stage were abortion, gun rights, and Reagan. That's true, and I'm going to be discussing guns and politics on a second one, so watch that. on edge of despair with last never Trumpers. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, all these never Trumpers, including some of the people that we have making comments on this channel, right? Oh, aren't you tearing their hairs out? If I had time, I would love to watch some of the other news outlets today, but I don't have time. I can imagine what they're doing. They're just. I'll see what Breitbart says. An American lion roars. Yeah. Stamina. Trump speaks all night. Well, not all night, but days after being shot in the head. I said that. World champ. Trump crushes all-time record again. Yep, he always does. He strikes new tone. Calm, sensitive, and sincere. Yes, he did. He says, I'm not supposed to be here tonight. And then he tells the story of the assassination. That's all right. But, some people said, and I heard people call from the audience, and I think it became a chant. It says, yes, you are. Yes, you are. And I don't know if he missed that or not, but he said, no, I'm not. But he was, because it's my opinion that God has lifted him up into this. Okay. So this was all of this. If you think this was all coincidental, I can't argue with you on that. Well, I'm not going to argue. I could argue, but no. But everything that is being done, I am convinced, has been the hand of God in this. And that's just the way I feel. And I feel it for a reason. He praises the crowd for not running. So yes, he was supposed to be here tonight. And all that was supposed to happen. Without the assassination attempt, would this have been as powerful as it was? How am I doing on time? Okay. No, it would not have been. We would still kind of be in a horse race. And I've heard people say that it's over now with the collapse of the Democrats and with all this with Trump. Be careful with that thinking, because what that has a tendency to do is make people think that they can rest. It's over. I don't have to participate, or I don't have to be a part of it. I don't even have to vote, whatever. It's all done. Don't do that. Don't fall for that. It's not over. It is not over. Yeah, I think there's a 90% chance that Trump is going to take it, and maybe big. I've heard people saying that they think he's going to take 370 electoral votes. Maybe not. You don't know what could happen. It's not time to relax. It's time to use this as something to fire you up and get you a part of the process and a part of the fight. That was what he said when he raised his fist. Fight, fight, fight. You need to fight. And your fight may simply be, I don't know, you start your own YouTube channel and spout off to people like I do. It may be sharing this video, and I hope that you will. Please share this with as many people as you can. We would like to build this channel. And talk to your friends. Talk with your friends and people talk to everybody about it. Wear your Trump stuff out in public. Do you drink everything out of your Make America Great Again mug? Do you not have one yet? Are you kidding me? You don't have one yet? You get these through our website, stonemont.us. MAGAA, Make America Great Again. They started with MAGOA. I think it's Make America Great Once Again. I don't think that's good. MAGOA, that's just, no. That's my slogan, the one I made up, is much, much better. It's tremendous. Just, Make America Great Again. You can see right there, it has the 45 and 47 on it. You see that? Okay. And MAGA. Get it. Buy some for your friends. Buy a set. Have them all for everybody when you come over for the election night watch party, right? Anyway, you can get those on our website. And I have more coming out. But get this one first. So I think, whoops, somebody's calling. Be right back. Okay, so I forget where I was going with that, but let me read a couple of more of the headlines here. He praised the crowd for not running. That's right. And what I was saying, he is supposed to be here. this is, what the heck is this? Why do these things keep popping up on my computer screen? I don't know. Oh, you know what? McAfee keeps to. There's something wrong. I'm using an old laptop that I haven't used in a while. And, well, anyway, you don't care about that. Dana White says he's the toughest man on earth. Hulk Hogan called him his hero. Toughest man. Yeah, a grand new party. Hulk Hogan hypes up crowd, then Reverend Graham leads the prayer. But that's the truth. And Graham said it exactly right. He says, God has his hand on this man. And I truly believe that. And I think a lot of you do too. Meanwhile, the Dems in chaos as Biden withdrawal rumors run wild. Well, you know, yeah, that's right. If this hasn't been a weekend to remember, who was it that said we can't go through another weekend at Bernie's 4 years? Who was that? Oh, that was DeSantis, wasn't it? That was a good line. So what's coming now? Is this truly more than we had hoped for? More than an American reversion, but an actual American resurrection? I think that it is. But like I was starting to say earlier, it's not time to relax. It's not time to say, okay, it's over. Don't believe that. It's not over. You don't know what might be coming. You don't know what the Democrats might pull. Okay. And this is still, while America is fired up now, we still have some real interesting times ahead of us for the next 4 months. And then after that, real interesting times. So be a part of the fight. Don't sit on the sidelines. Don't stay on the bench. You know, say, put me in, coach, right? Put me in. Let me do something. If you don't know what to do, pray about it. Ask the good Lord, Lord, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? And I will do it. Because this is a chance that I didn't really think America would have. I did. You know, that's the thing about God, is that the way he does things, he always does things in ways that are different than we could imagine and comes out with a much better result than we could imagine, that we'd plan for ourselves. I've seen it so many times in my own life, and I've seen it, well, you probably have too. So, American resurrection, very possibly. It'll be interesting. Okay. But be a part of this. Get out there and do your part. Okay. You have to do your part. Whether that's just talking to other people, whether it's leaving a comment here on this video and other people's. Okay. Whether it's sharing this video, whether it's joining us on the Patreon channel to support what we're doing here, whatever it is. And I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It helps. It really does. Plus you get more and you just become more of a part of everything. Okay. I appreciate that so much. By the way, I would say something here. You noticed the lanterns behind me that have been behind me for a couple of years on every video that I've made. Those were made by one of our patrons on the Patreon channel, Hondo Bob. And he sent them along with a nice long letter. You know, it had to do with the Old North Church. One if by land, two if by sea, and I on the opposite shore will be ready to ride and spread the alarm to every Middlesex village and farm for the country folk to be up and do arm. Are you surprised that I knew that? I memorized that in 4th grade, the whole poem. But he said so. He was at the Integrative Preparedness Gathering last week, and he said that he is getting ready to produce those, my thumbs there, those for sale. That other people, I don't know how soon it's going to be, but as soon as he does, I will put the information up here because I've had so many people ask, where did you get those beautiful lanterns? And I said, Hondo Bob. And I hope you will do it. And get them out there for people, because No better time than this, right? Okay. Hey, you all have a good day. Remember that America needs a reversion. It needs you to be a part of it. But God has given us something more than a reversion, perhaps. I think He may have given us a national resurrection. So keep that in mind. Do your part, and I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.